FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and former Governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, and the re-elected People's Democratic Party South-South Zonal Vice Chairman Dan Obi on Saturday attended the party's Zonal Congress in Calabar. At the gathering, Wike commended Obi and his executive members for maintaining the party's stability in spite of its challenges. He berated the National Working Committee of the party for leadership lapses.
Their own governor, who adopted another party for winning the election. Is that we are? Yes. That's the kind of leadership we have. I thank God. If I'm not happy with you, I will say I'm not happy with you. I don't need to hide. Let us open our eyes, shine our eyes, and let leadership today that will protect our party, that will unite our party. There's nobody that can intimidate me in this party. Not one. I don't need to be a governor. I don't need to. But once you know yourself, you know what you have, you know what you can do, you don't need to put yourself. Congratulations for today's election.
But in a swift reaction, the PDP National Working Committee has firmly disowned the gathering held in Calabar, Cross River State on Saturday, February 22nd, 2025, where certain individuals claim to be conducting the party's South-South Zonal Congress. In another development, the People's Democratic Party conducted its Northeast Zonal Congress in Bauchi despite a federal high court restraining the exercise. According to Justice Obiora Atuegu Egwatu of the Federal High Court in Abuja, issued an order directing the PDP and its leadership to maintain status quo pending further proceedings on February 25, 2025. However, the party proceeded with the Congress at Dr. Rilwan Suleiman Adamu Square, Government House, Bauchi, at the weekend, where Alhaji Babangida Modibo Umar emerged as the new Northeast Zonal Chairman. Joining us now on the show to discuss the PDP Congress and its internal wranglings is Umar Sani, and former Senior Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to former Vice President Namadi Sambo of Nigeria. He's joined by Emmanuel Ogidi, former National Vice Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, South-South. I'll come to you first, Mr. Ogidi, if you can hear me, by asking you the question, what happened in Calabar?
It was a joke. You see, we have a procedure, we have guidelines in conducting zonal elections. And unfortunately, some of the participants there understood it. The National Working Committee have been empowered to conduct all elections. Thereafter, it's presented to NEC, and NEC approves it. The first procedure, you screen the candidates, publish the names of the candidates, then publish to the Congress. Automatic member of the Congress, no invitation to Congress. That's why I was not even there. No governor was present. No, maybe I don't know which party chairman was there, but I know that my state party chairman was not there. Even the Edo State party chairman was not there. So I don't know what they did. It's unfortunate because by God's grace I'm a member of the National Reconciliation Committee, and we're working hard to reconcile the party. But there are some people who are bent on destroying this party for their selfish reasons. All what took place there was not done by PDP. What I mean by that is that the NWC did not approve of it. There are no ballot papers. There are no officials to even conduct it. Well, it's unfortunate when you hear people talk like this. I understand their pains. I understand their frustration. But is it not enough time for us now?
Okay, Mr. Ogidi, can you hear me? We'll try to connect
Yes.
this. Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. So are you saying that...
I can hear you clearly.
Are you saying that what was done in Calabar will not hold water, and it further confirms the fact that
It will not hold water.
they've nailed the coffin
Who are the members that went there?
of the PDP as we speak? So is that what you are saying, that what was done in Calabar will not hold water? I'll come to you, Mr. Umar Sani. I want your take on what was done in Calabar and also in Bauchi. What happened in both places?
Okay. What happened in Calabar is supposed to be our zonal congresses. We have zonal congresses for southwest, south-south, northeast, northwest, north central, and all the six geopolitical zones. But the one for the northwest has to be proposed, is not yet due, because you remember what happened at the Trade Fair Complex in Kaduna when the Conquesia group came to disrupt the proceedings, and so it has to be shifted. So it has now fallen into 2026. But all others have different dates, that of commencement of their tenure. So it is at the expiration of their tenure that an election can be held to fill the vacancy, because no vacancy should exist. The PDP is a law-abiding party. What happened in Calabar is that there were two issues. One, Dan Obi, who contested for the chairmanship, was under suspension. And you can't force somebody who is under suspension to say he must emerge as the chairman. The party didn't clear him. Most of the people were not cleared to contest. Secondly, both sides hold a court order insisting that one is insisting that you should proceed, the other one is insisting you should not proceed. So, and the only organ of the party that has the right to direct for an election is the National Working Committee. And the National Working Committee, not divided, in unison, said there is no Congress in the South-South. So if the National Working Committee says there is no Congress, then who conducted the Congress? Because they are supposed to be the ones to send the officials that will go and conduct the Congress. So once they say there is no Congress, it means that there is no Congress. Nobody was there to officiate it. And when you take a critical look at the attendance at the Congress that happened in Calabar, you will discover that there was no PDP governor who was there. And such type of events naturally bring all the South-South PDP governors should be there. The governor of Delta is supposed to be there. The governor of Bayelsa is supposed to be there. The governor of Akwa Ibom is supposed to be in that meeting, and none of them was there. So they have also been communicated by the party that there is no Congress. So anybody who goes ahead to conduct a Congress in Calabar, at the Transcorp Hotel in Calabar, is just going on a wild goose chase, because once the party says that thing does not exist, it doesn't exist. Now, what happened in Bauchi is slightly different. Now, there was no court order served on the party stopping them from conducting that of Bauchi, and there was no problem coming from any stakeholder insisting that they must take the matter to court to go and stop the Congress. So the Northeast caucus and the Northeast stakeholders, are in unison that the Congress should take place. And it took place, and somebody emerged. And the National Working Committee recognized the person, recognized the people who were elected, So
Bauchi is legitimate, right? Is that what you're saying?
So,
is that what you're saying, in fact, that Bauchi is legitimate?
Yes, Bauchi
Calabar is not legitimate.
All right.
Yes,
Okay,
because
let me
Bauchi
address
is
a few
legitimate
things.
because the National Working Committee sent the people who conducted the election.
Okay, let me ask a question around that, because Mr. Wike has debunked that. He said that the Constitution doesn't say that the National Working Committee should organize Congress in zones. That is the zone that should organize Congress. What do you have to say? Because he made the statement in response to what's, well, perhaps in anticipation of you saying this. He said that the Constitution doesn't say the National Working Committee should organize congresses, that is a zone's responsibility. Then with regards to people attending, he said that in the past, there have been congresses where everyone hasn't been available, and so they just had to move on. That they wouldn't stop a congress because some people had to attend to personal matters, go for weddings or social events. That's what he's saying. So he's addressed the two things that you've mentioned. What do you have to say about that? And Mr. Ogidi, in the past, Mr. Wike has defied a lot of the things that the PDP has stood for. He went against your presidential candidate. With the G5, despite the numerous calls for him and to cease and desist, he went ahead with it. He took a position with with the APC government as minister. So what would now stop him now that you're releasing statements about, oh, it will not stand, it will not stand? He has done what he wants to do, and as in the past, might just continue to move on. What would then happen after this? So for Mr. Sani, I'd like you to respond to the fact that he said that the Constitution doesn't say that the National Working Committee should organize congresses, and that people also miss previous congresses. So there's no big deal about people, some key people missing it. And Mr. Ogidi, what next? Since in the past, Mr. Wike seems to be able to get away with a lot of things in the PDP. Mr. Sani, please, first, and then I'll come to Mr. Ogidi.
Am I the one to speak first?
Mr. Sani, please go ahead. Yes,
okay.
Speak first.
Now, yes, what I want Mr. Wike to do, if he has any challenge, is to quote the relevant sections of the Constitution that gives the Zonal Congress the power to conduct an election on itself without any supervision from any quarters. If he does that, then I will now be convinced that what he is saying is correct. In our party, it is the national headquarters that issues directives as to how the election should go. They conduct the screening, they conduct almost everything, that requires people to get into office. So I have not seen where in our Constitution where it is said that notwithstanding the National Working Committee, the Zonal Caucus or the Zonal Congress can sit down and conduct election on itself without no guidelines, without nothing from the national headquarters. That is prosperous, and it is very wrong for Mr. Wike to just, he thinks he can't play on our intelligence. We all know these things. We have been in this party. I have been in the PDP since 1998. I have never left the party, and I have always been, I was an administrative secretary of the party when Ephraim Okpata came to Kaduna to come and inspect our office. So I know all the rules of our Constitution. I know all the changes that have been made, from the first Constitution up to the Uche Secondos signed Constitution, which is 2017, which is the subsisting Constitution that we are using. So I do not know where Wike got that from. And if he conducts an election, who is supposed to recognize them? Are they the ones that will write that they have already concluded an election and they will write to INEC that INEC should recognize them? The law is that the only communication INEC receives within the PDP must come from the chairman and the secretary. So who will recognize them? Is it Mr. Wike that will recognize them? Or is it they themselves that will recognize themselves as having been elected? Supposing other people also go and form their own, and then do the election and come up and say the Constitution didn't say so, what happens? Then there will be confusion. So there is a systematic way of doing these things, and it has not been followed. Wike is merely being clever by half. He has not stated the right thing. And if he says previously that there were such things and people didn't attend and nothing happened, let him cite one. Let him say that the election that ushered in so people, the governors were not there, this person was not there, this one was not there, and then they went ahead. Let him say it. You don't just make a generalization without being specific. You have to bring an example.
All right.
If you want to argue something, bring an example. Okay. In what happened in South, in what happened in Southeast, the people were not there and the thing went on. That's how you argue a point.
How about the thing about his assertion that in the past not everyone has to be there? So this is addressing the things where you talked about the fact that some key people were not there. It's not in the past. People miss the Congress for many reasons, and so there's no reason why
that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
Prof. Yes. Prof, that's what I was saying. I'm saying if you say in the past people were not there, where did that happen? Where? He ought to have given you example. For instance, he's supposed to say that the Congress that took place in 2015 in Calabar or in Ebonyi, or people were not there, and then persons were not there, and the thing went on, and it was accepted.
Mr. Sani,
that's what he ought to have said.
Mr. Sani, I'm glad you say that you've been a part of the PDP since 1998 and you haven't left. From what you have said and the state of play,
yes,
it is obvious that the party is divided. Is the PDP retrievable? That's the question on the minds of a lot of people, because it's one trouble.
You see, yes, no, the party is not divided. The problem of the party is Wike, and Wike is no longer commanding the forces that he was commanding before. He is no longer commanding Damagun. Damagun is no longer with him. Bature is no longer with him. So he is lost. And so the only thing for him to do is to always be creating problem where there is none.
Good morning. Good morning.
The major person who was the major person with him is Anyanwu, and Anyanwu has now has faced the wrath of the governors, the wrath of the BOT, and the wrath of the National Working Committee. And so Anyanwu has stepped aside, and SKE Okoye is now our National Secretary. So there is no problem within the party again.
No, Mr. Sani, good morning to you again. You say there is no problem. You cite.
Good morning. Is it?
Yeah, you cite the.
Rufai?
No, it's Anthony Killer here. You cite the Constitution.
Okay, Anthony Killer.
Yeah, you cite the Constitution.
Yes.
So, according to you, some people have gone to do an unauthorized exercise. This your Constitution, has it got a clear rule to punish them? Has it got very simple clear? If some students or some staff of a school go and conduct an exam, we know what to do. If members of a club go and do something, we know what to do. Has the PDP got traditions, laws, or practice to use to not only say what people have done is not valid, but to punish them? Has it got that clear thing? Then let me mix up that. Yeah. Okay, go ahead with that first. Yes, please go ahead.
The Constitution is very, very clear. Yes, the Constitution is very clear. The Constitution has spelled out offenses that one can commit that will be considered to be misconduct, gross misconduct, and has provided solutions in terms of punitive measures, in terms of suspension, in terms of reprimand, in terms of dismissal, and so forth and so on. So the Constitution has given a clear pathway as to what to be done. But in the exercise of that function, the party created a disciplinary committee which is expected to act on the directives or act on the complaints or petitions or directives of the party to investigate this thing and take appropriate measures. Now, the disciplinary committee will now look at the Constitution and say, okay, this man has committed anti-party. He has admitted openly in the media that I have committed anti-party and I have no regrets about it. So what is the punishment for somebody who has committed anti-party and who has owned up? Even at that, he will be given fair hearing. He will be called upon to come and clarify. We saw you on Channel TV. We saw you on Arise. You were saying this and this and that. Is that you? Or what do you have to say? So the disciplinary committee, on the strength of what the answers he has given, and on the strength of the facts available before them, will now recommend to the party that this man is eligible to be suspended, to be expelled, to be reprimanded, or whatever punitive measures they believe will be appropriate for the party at that point in time.
Okay, Mr. Sani, but all of this you have said has not worked.
Yeah.
We have seen the failure of the facility in the PDP to reprimand people. They set up a committee, for disciplinary action.
Disciplinary committee.
The disciplinary committee was mad with a lot of back and forth and fights. We were here when Chief Bode George said, no, some people they were put ahead of me. I got to the PDP before them. Till today, the disciplinary committee has not meted any discipline on anybody. And you say your party is not divided. As we speak, and I'm asking both of you and also Mr. Ogidi if he's there and if he's back with us, who is now the vice chairman South of the PDP, national vice chairman South of the PDP? We don't know. So Wike keeps doing what he wants to do because there's no discipline in the party. The disciplinary committee is nowhere to be found. The leg of the disciplinary committee is broken, just like the leg of the PDP is broken. This question is for both of you. If Mr. Ogidi is also there, and Mr. Sani, you go
Maybe
first.
we should ask Mr. Ogidi.
Okay.
Mr. Ogidi, did you hear us?
Okay, let me wait for Mr. Ogidi.
Can Mr. Ogidi hear us? Okay, Mr. Sani, just continue with these questions I've asked. Yeah.
Okay, now, I think, Mr. Rufai, you are trying to put the cart before the horse. And you are in a hurry to see these things done immediately. Now, when you take a matter to court, are you the one to determine to the court when the court will give judgment? Or is the court the one to determine when it is able to give judgment? That is the situation with a disciplinary committee. The disciplinary committee is not in itself a finality. It is like a jury in the jury system. The jury system will sit down, deliberate, and say, we have come to a conclusion. And then the judge will now issue the sentence. Now, that is what the disciplinary committee is expected to do. Now, if you are saying you have not seen them do anything, but have you not seen them invite a lot of people? You have seen them invite Wike. You have seen them invite Otom. You have seen them invite Anyanwu. You have seen them inviting all these
Take
people.
for instance, when they invited Otom said
all of these people are coming out to the media.
No, hang on a minute, sir. Otom said they didn't invite him directly. A lot of people that invited flouted the invitation. They were not even present there in the first place. So a lot of people even disrespected the disciplinary committee.
Let's go to Mr. Ogidi.
So let's go to Mr. Ogidi.
Yes, it is just like.
Let's go to
No,
Mr.
let
Ogidi.
me finish this one.
Oh yeah, finish.
Let me finish.
Yes.
Let me finish this. Yes. When you commit contempt of court, The court can invite you and you refuse to come. And you just go out and say anything you want. But you have committed contempt. The court has the power to say, okay, go to prison. The disciplinary committee has no power to tell you to go to prison.
Okay.
But the disciplinary committee can recommend, based on what you have done to the party, for the type of punishment that you merit. So I don't think you are being generous with your arguments.
Okay.
You are trying to you are trying to place us in a position where we will not be able to explain why certain things are happening.
So let me come to Mr. Ogidi now. Sorry, we've been having. It's not that we've ignored. We've been having some technical challenges in reaching you. That's been the problem. And so for the sake of our viewers also, it's not that we've ignored you.
No,
Mr. Ogidi, I said your disciplinary committee has not worked.
Yes.
They invited Autumn and some other people. They disrespected your disciplinary committee. That's why a lot of people are saying PDP matter don't get K-leg. They disrespected your disciplinary committee. Nobody cared about the disciplinary committee. In fact, going further, so who is now the national vice chair of the PDP South as we speak today? Since they flout your disciplinary committee, there's no discipline in the party, you can't rein them in, nothing is working. So the people are saying the PDP is all finished. And let me also ask this. Somebody sent this in, to me about also the El-Rufai factor in all of this, where they are saying it's El-Rufai who is now working closely with Atiku, now a PDP member and APC member, because we saw El-Rufai and Atiku go together to go and greet Paike Clark's family.
All these are speculations. The People's Democratic Party is not owned by an individual. It's owned by the people. And in a society, you have so many unruly people there. The truth of the matter is that those people are unruly. And you have to manage them. We have to manage them. Because what we are going to face in Nigeria now is very tough. And unfortunately, when you are dealing with human beings, you have to be very careful. And you're not just dealing with smalls, you're dealing with big guys with their own selfish agenda. They're all selfish. Because if you're not selfish, you should obey the rules. The rules are very simple. And I know it. I'm PDP through and through. They are supposed to be PDP through and through. The National Working Committee has been empowered by the Constitution of the party to conduct all elections from the ward to the convention. But the NEC will approve it. So what are we talking about? The NEC has given them the power to organize this. It's only the NEC that can take that power from them. And they know it. It's just that they are unruly.
But Mr. Ogidi, it's Anthony Killer here.
Yes,
you say they're unruly, and one,
I know, my brother.
and one is even almost sorry for you. But here's the thing, though. If you cannot handle members of your own party, executive members of your party, senior members that are less than 100, how can we trust the country to you? If you can't handle that small thing, like members of your party, how can we give you the whole country to handle?
No, you see, we are trying to come up again. We lost. After losing an election, all kinds of things happen. Some people don't have the kind of patience all of us have. But I can tell you this, like they said, if you cannot do the time, don't do the crime. But with those with fat purses, they believe they can take the laws into their hands. But the law will always catch up with them.
In just 1 minute.
Right now,
Mr. Ogidi, wait.
The healing process.
Wait, Mr. Ogidi, I wish you happy...
Let me tell you something.
No, wait. I wish you happy healing, Mr. Ogidi, but Nigeria is impatient and the PDP looks dead. I want you to bear that in mind. The confusion Mr. Sani refuses to accept...
No, PDP is not dead.
Well, I hope not for you, but it looks dead. But there's another issue. Even in the Bauchi place that Mr. Sani says is legitimate, there is a court order that is saying that process should not have been held. 1 minute to talk about that. We're about to go away.
I'm not aware of the court order.
There's confusion, can't you see? Mr. Sani, are you aware of the court order?
No, people are deliberately creating the confusion. People are deliberately
Well, like perhaps, Killer.
Yes.
You didn't listen to me.
I did.
I said even if there was a court order,
Yes.
yes, it was not served on the party. I said so.
Okay.
So if you do not receive a court order, how can you obey it?
Okay, so as we wrap up, please, this is for two of you. Who is the national vice chairman of the PDP South as we speak in less than 1 minute? For two of you.
Without none.
None.
None. How about you, Mr. Sani?
Well, the issue is still under deliberation, and it will be finalized by the National Executive Committee of the party, because it is when NEC meets that it will finally determine who is the national. Because we have not been able to hold NEC meeting, that is why we don't have one that we can call at the moment.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Sani and Mr. Ogidi.